And we're live. And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to New York by Night, where we now have a changeling scene. Two changelings, a Sir Aidan and a Sir Green, have had a visit from a herald. He was dressed in greens and golds, and he carries with him the following message. You will be expected to have tea with Duchess Arrowley at your earliest convenience. Dress appropriately. Gifts are not necessary. Kind regards, Duchess Arrowley née Fiona. So, the two changelings will make their way to the Duchess's place. She will be, I'm going to describe this so we don't have to do this later on anymore. There is a big yard with, you basically arrive through a tunnel of roses, and this smell of sweetness will definitely almost make you nauseated with it. Then you arrive at this great big wide field with flowers all around it. There's a lake a little bit further, but in the middle of the field there will be a small hill. And on top of that hill there will be a brilliant white pavilion in which the Duchess and her General Fergal ap Fiona, have taken place and have this table set with it's loaded with different kind of teas and biscuits and cakes and pie and basically everything you want. Also, next to the table, there is something which is covered by a big, well, it seems to be some kind of cloth or blanket, you really can't make out. And next to the table, there's actually a smaller table with 4 chairs around it, and on one of them Arrowley will be sitting, and I guess Fergal will either be sitting on one of the other chairs or actually standing behind her.
Of course, the general is standing behind Arrowley. Of course.
Oh, of course he does. And that's where the two changelings will arrive.
So, going a few hours back in time, when Green looked at the letter, saw it was from Duchess Arrowley née Fiona. Gifts are not necessary, huh? Yeah, nice try. So, he made something for her, even though it was not necessary. It's when Green arrives at Duchess Arrowley's freehold, he will have with him a wooden carving of an armored stag that holds a flag of victory or a victorious pose or something majestic like that. So he enters the freehold, announces himself and all that kind of jazz.
One of the servants will actually bring you towards, well, the garden I just described. We'll walk with you until you reach the pavilion, and he will introduce you to the Duchess. She will smile and say, "Please, take a seat. We'll just be waiting for Sir Aidan, but help yourself to anything if you like some." She's already holding a cup with apparently tea in it, sipping from it.
Green will slightly bow towards the Duchess and towards the General, and he will say, "Duchess Arrowley, General Fergal."
Mm-hmm.
Lovely freehold you have here. And he holds the stag out and puts it somewhere on a table that's, I don't know, just there. He grabs something to eat or drink and sits down as well.
Sir Aidan ap Gwydion, also having received the letter, read between the lines on what the Seelie actually meant, and decided to go all out with his gift, and quickly had a throne made out of Aideen weaponry, an iron throne, for the most victorious of the houses at the war. He has with him his squire, who is pushing along the throne on a pushcart, as well as his manservant, so as to announce him to the noble house.
Well, as he arrives, he will also be sent towards the gardens. The servant will, of course, lead the way. We'll introduce him as well. And, well, you're actually gonna push that throne up the hill? Okay, awesome.
Duchess Arle ni Fiona, I am the knight, sir, Aidan ap Gwydion. I come bearing an iron throne for your victories. As he just motions to his left as he uncovers the throne. Your victories are monumental, and so should anything that I bring before you.
Well, Sir Aidan, I know your name, but thank you for announcing yourself. And she is gonna try and not to seem like surprised with this fucking throne. But I guess you guys can roll empathy on that if you want to. I actually have to roll something, I'm sure. Is that actually... Let's see, manipulation... okay. Well, no, she cannot actually hide her surprise. So she's gonna stand up, and her eyes just widen, and she says, well, that is amazing.
Only the best for you, Duchess Arle. Only the best.
Well, it's certainly interesting. Thank you very much. She also takes the time to check out the gift that the knocker brought. She just looks at it, and she as well noticed the
It's
handiwork.
top notch.
Mhm.
It really is. I don't know if you've ever seen Green's work, but he is very good at what he does.
She actually admires the woodwork, and she keeps it in her hands and turns it over. Well, beautiful. Well, thank you very much for those gifts, although I told you that it wasn't necessary. We can... She gets some of her composure back. We need our time not be put into gifts. We need time be put into the war effort. So although I'm really appreciating this, please refrain from it for now on. Anyway, Sir Gwydion, if you would like some tea, some refreshments.
Yes, please, Duchess, as he... If there's an extra seat, he will move it to where he is sitting across from her, and will take his tea, as his etiquette allows, and drink slowly from it. Very regal.
So, please tell me, once everybody is seated and has their drinks, how are you doing, both of you?
I am currently attempting to figure out the Gwydion structure in our city. We lost a good many when we retook the castle.
I know. I'm very, very sorry for your loss. A great many brave people died at that point. There's this silence hanging for a moment.
Myself, I have been working on a couple of projects since the attack. I have managed to get some more experience in a certain field of geometria. As well, I am currently creating a spy keep in the Dreaming that should serve as a stronghold in this war.
Hmm.
The general doesn't say anything, but he sort of perks an eyebrow in Green's general direction, but says nothing.
Well, that might prove to be very handy indeed. Anyway, I didn't ask you here for shenanigans. Let's get to business. Well, it's not necessarily business, don't worry. The two of you might wonder why I asked you to join me here instead of some of the others. What happened at court was a tragedy, and it will always be remembered, but there were a few brilliant stars shining that night. Yours, to be specific. Sir Aidan, your actions within the court have not gone unnoticed. Now I need to get to my notes. Great.
The Duchess is flipping clever through her notes as I'm trying to remember what happened.
Well, it's more like out of character. Nope, I haven't watched it. I am simply. I had notes. Yes, there we are. I know. I'm a horrible, horrible person. Well, for a moment, the Duchess just seems distracted as she just stares over the cross and somewhere towards the far left where you can actually see a lake shine and glinster in the sunlight. She shakes her head a little bit and says, "Yes, I'm sorry. Where was I? Sir Aidan, your actions during that night were show of great leadership, and I will not let them go unrewarded. I would like to offer you the position of commander."
I am awed by your generosity at such a gift.
We can use strong and courageous people such as yourself within our households.
At this point, the general will go ahead and bend over and whisper something into the Duchess's ear.
Interesting. I've heard that you actually have that you're planning a rescue mission?
Yes, Duchess, I am planning a rescue mission, though I'm not sure how many men I will be taking at this moment.
You are not sure on how many men, and how come you are not? I mean, hasn't the attack been several weeks already?
I have come upon information that suggests that perhaps a smaller force would be better, and yet, if we were attacked with a smaller force and failed to stealthily make our way into the camp, we would be obliterated. If I take a large force, such as my own small army, then we may meet resistance and the hostages may be killed outright before we get to them. I
More
must weigh all
whispering.
options.
More whispering to the Duchess. I told him to see if he can negotiate for the release of such hostages. Whisper, 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 whisper. He is stalling. Whisper, whisper, whisper.
Hmm. Well, you have been talking with my general, I believe,
I have Duchess.
and you have decided to ignore his advice, even though at this point he is now also your general.
I would like to note that he did not accept it. He just graciously thanked you for giving him the offer.
Oh, but he's just
Well, that's gonna change very quickly.
They slaughtered most of my house, and you wish for me to negotiate with them. There are less than 15 of my house left in this city.
Sir Aiden, please. I understand. Trust me, I totally understand your feelings. At this point, though, we have to keep the casualties not growing any further. Our first priority at this point isn't destroying the enemy, it's getting the hostages. If you would actually negotiate with them, get the hostages in safety, what would stop you from obliterating them afterwards?
My honor as a Gwydion, if such a pact was made, of release would have to be honored.
Of course, but it all depends on what pact you make. Make it smart, and it will leave you room to attack as soon as the hostages are within safety. Do you need help with negotiations?
No, Duchess, I need no help negotiating with the enemy. I merely need to know more about the enemy to know their wants, their goals, and their needs, so as to have a better standing point when the trade occurs.
Again, there's more whispering to our allies here, as well as a plain vanilla envelope presented to her, the content of which is he asked for more information about the native tribes. This is a brief summary of what I know about it, what most experts will tell you about it, in a short one-paper document. That's all I think he needs. If he would simply go and talk to them, then he might get a better idea about the negotiation terms.
Well, you can tell him that yourself. She says it's clearly for everyone to hear, but she takes a quick look at the contents of the envelope and she holds it up. Well, before we can continue this discussion, because I am intrigued, would you like to take my offer? You will find that our house can help you.
First, I must speak with my own commander, as well as the leader of my house, before I may make any permanent agreements.
Hmm. So, you do
I
not appreciate the gift?
I appreciate it greatly, but my house is known for its rigid hierarchy, and without the permissions of my higher-ups, I may not accept this as it is given.
Hmm. And
If you
how much time
would
do you
wish
need?
a day, if you wish to pen a paper requesting my transfer, I can get it to the Baron forthwith.
Hierarchy. The general says as loudly as he can, hierarchy does not lend itself to adaptive strategy.
When one knows from top to bottom who is in charge, even the last man standing will be able to complete the mission or attempt to.
When all resources are available to you at any time whatsoever, you always have the right hammer for the right problem.
Whether it be a hammer or a quill, one must always know the right tools for the job.
And yet it is the adaptive strategy that wins out the day every single conflict we have with our enemy.
If one cannot adapt to the changing strategies, one should not be a commander. One should not lead an army.
So you're saying that you are not adaptive, that this title would not fit you?
That would be my Gwydion rage check. I succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
What I am saying, Commander Fergal, Fiona, or my bad,
General.
General,
Commander.
General
General.
Fergal at Fiona. That was a missay on my part. Is that I know my tactics. I am learning the enemy tactics, and I am revising everything I know based on new information given to me daily.
Though that is where we differ paths, while you may continue to research. What good is it if you do not actually go to the field, see with your own eyes, adapt the strategy there? You, my good sir, are in an unfortunate position, being the last of your house, or at least the last of a few number. Here's what I say to you. You have an excellent opportunity here to show your mighty prowess and strategic acumen right now in negotiating. However, if you do not wish to prove your house still has some kick, even if you are the last, I can do nothing to say against that.
My house has been, and always will be, the hand of our High King, and if it is required of me to go out into the field, I will go out into the field. I have not been ordered out, and without orders, I may not move my army. Thus is the problem we face right now. My house is in disarray, and orders are not forthcoming.
Well,
Gentlemen,
you find
please.
yourself in an interesting position, don't you? You can either step up to the challenge, prove your house worth, or you can simply sit there.
General, are you done?
Yes, ma'am.
Very well. Sir Aiden, you will get your one day. The offer will still stand. And she clearly still holds the envelope. My house, as you have noticed already, she says as she looks to the throne, can help you with great victories. My general is the best. You can learn from him. You can grow here. And we have a lot of information that we can give you. Just keep that in mind while making your decision, and you will get your one day, but one day. I'm not very well known for my patience. She places the envelope on the table and just holds her hand on it.
I will send your message hither. As he looks to his manservant, snaps his fingers, and the manservant just looks up. If you would give him any message you have, he will relay it to the good Baron.
You have business with your Baron, not I. I have business with you. You put the Baron in. Therefore, it will be your message, not mine.
That's not actually how it works.
That's how it's working right now.
Yeah, no, I'm like, not sure. Brain overloading. He just looks to his manservant. I will treat you to run quickly, as fast as you can, to the Baron, and tell him that I am required elsewhere, so as to better serve House Fiona. And with that, the little guy just runs off.
Satyr
And
running.
no, it's not a satyr. It's a boggin. So he like gets halfway and just disappears. I am already under a Fiona at the moment. I suspect I will be given permission to assist the House Fiona in any way that I can. If I receive in the positive, I will of course put myself at your... I will... Damn it, political wording. I will be at your beck and call, Duchess, to do as you see fit with my services.
Of course you will be. But also, remember that this might not just be my best. It might also be in your best interests. After all, if you proceed to do well, within my house you can grow. You might even become Baron one day. That's all I'm saying.
That would be highly appreciated, my lady, Duchess.
Well, I tend to reward those who do their best and book results. She just looks at General Fergal for a moment and she nods. There's a small smile, and then she just turns to Sir Green. She smiles as well. Well, Sir Green, you were definitely the other brightly shining star in that horrible, horrible dark night. For you I also have a gift. My sources say that you need an engine. Is that correct?
I am currently working on something that would require an engine, yes. I do have the materials, just do not have the time in my hands to build it.
I see. Well, although I cannot give you time, and at that point she just claps her hands, and one of the servants that's standing around the pavilion walks towards the thing that's covered up at this point. It's right next to the table with all the tea and biscuits and everything, and with one almost like magician style pull, he just pulls the entire sheet off the away from whatever is under there, and you will see a bright new shining engine there standing there.
Green's eyes just perk up. Just, ooh.
Please inspect it if you will.
I most certainly shall try. I'll And he goes over the engine. Oh, fuck it, I'll roll perception technology. Or intelligence technology, whatever. Plus mechanics, difficulty 4. Yay! Is it a good engine?
It's the best. And it seems to be out of character. I have no clue what you're building at this point, but whatever it is, this engine seems to be specifically fit for that thing. How she
Yes.
knows, you have no clue, but this is exactly it.
Yeah, submarine engine. So Greenlick goes over the engine, goes over all the little nooks and crannies, and goes into looks into the really tight and really small spaces of the engine, because most of the time those are the places where things would be, and it's just like goes all over it, and he mutters stuff, and oh, nice. This looks awesome. These are some good materials. Wow. This is exactly what I need. This is amazing.
Oh, the Duchess is just looking, and there's a smile on her face. She just nods. Yes, I know it is.
Wow. Yes, this could be put to very well, to a very good use.
If you give me an address, I'll make sure it will be delivered there.
I have such a bad idea right now. Like takes out takes out of his hair, he takes out a pen. You don't really know why he has a pen in his hair, but he just has.
It makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense. He starts writing an address on it. It's basically his shop in the Bagnall War. This would be where I can pick it up. And he hands it over to the Duchess or whoever would take it for her.
Oh no, she takes it herself. She places it on top of the envelope and puts her hand over it as well. And she says, well, like I said, in my household we reward those who do great things. Please continue to do so. Well, and let's enjoy our tea further, shall we? And I think with that, unless someone really wants to do or say something.
Tiny teacup, tiny saucer, in a tiny pocket.
I
So
think we will end the speed.
Actually, the boggin will come running back. Whisper to Sir Aiden. The message I received from my Baron Valerius is that he requests a formal audience with you, for it is of great import, and he believes it be ill-advised for you to make this decision without information that he has to give you.
Well, Sir Aiden, if you could request his audience here, now that we're all gathered.
I will, of course, send my manservant to see if he is available at this time.
Go Facebook!
Oh boy. I will probably at some point make a backup character that will call Facebook.
Like, I have a face. Here's a book. You know, Facebook.
Right. Okay. So we continue to sip tea.
Yay. Sipping tea, eating
Yay.
cake. Green's going over his head about his calculations in geometria and how he would put this engine to use, and then thinks to himself, wait a second, I can generate a power source for this thing. This gets better and better!
Duchess will look to General Fergal and look at Sir Aidan. It's like, well, if you would like, now might be an excellent time to exchange notes.
Yes, that would be of great ability to help me.
I mean, General Fergal is quite accomplished, and I think you can learn a lot from him. I would use this time if I were you. If you will excuse me for a few moments. She rises. I will be right back. Okay, I think with that then we will end scene, because unless Thursday, do Fergal and Green, Aiden, want to have a discussion, or shall we just quit it?
We can quit.
We can quit
Yes.
if you wish.
Yes, we can.
Then, with Duchess Arley rising and walking away, we will end the scene while the two gentlemen are drinking tea and eating biscuits.